Maybe
So what's this all about?
So I'm about 30 pounds, 40 pounds overweight right now in this photo. If you go to the next one, 25 years old, less than $100 in my bank account, 248 pounds.
Damn. What do you weigh now?
215. 210, 215, somewhere in that area, depending on water. Look at the back of that. Look behind that door. You see that sheetrock? It's not finished. It's not floated. Poor, fat, broke, ginger. I'm not listening to the shit, man. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not fucking listening to it. Right there says it all. I'm really glad I have that photo, actually, because you know, man, even if I wouldn't have done as well as I've done, any guy that either thinks he's short or he thinks first of all, girls do not care about how handsome you are as much as you think. Number one, I see trolls around everywhere in the world, ugly guys, Shrek-looking guys that you can tell are not the dude you want to meet in an alley, holding hands of a beautiful women that I would date. So that's number one. And then number two, I think that if you handle your fitness alone, then you can just look mean and scary. You know, you don't have to always go playboy. These guys, you should not rest your laurels on tall, handsome guy. You can handle your situation. You can handle your education, get out of your small town. You can handle your thought process. You can read books like Rollo's books and other books that are out there and other red pill things that are out there. And you can control the frame, and then you can be a gentleman. And I think you'd be shocked at how much more effective being a masculine, dominant gentleman is than being an angry guy that didn't do the work, or a black pill guy that's just mad and using the excuses.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade. I am fat, broke, and ugly in that photo. Not that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's sort of what is lost on these guys, on a lot of guys right now, especially guys who are critics of the red pill. Now, again, this isn't me like trying to make a case for like being like tradcon or anything like that. What I'm saying is like this is especially if you want to talk about like being authentic. I've done episodes about this before where it's like I've said, look, there's a school of thought, and this is really kind of like the Rich Cooper school of thought, which is like, don't chase women, just chase excellence, right? Well, sometimes it's doing both. Usually it is doing both, because if you're chasing excellence, a byproduct of chasing that excellence tends to be you have more options with women. That's why. And so what does that chasing excellence look like to you, right? Is it getting thinner? Is it putting on muscle, man? Maybe you're already a skinny guy, right? And you just want to put on some meat, right? What is it that you have to do? And I've said this before. This is my question for the entire, year of 2020. Is like, or 2021. What do you want? What is the final outcome of what you would like to do with the rest of your life, right? Do you want to have hot women? Do you want to spin plates? Is that the goal? Is that where you want to be in another, 2, 5 years, whatever it is? Do you want to be in a better position financially? Do you want to be in better shape physically? What is it? John from Modern Life Dating: make money, make muscles, and learn game, right? Okay. Well, usually it's a combination of those three in some way, but like, where do you want to be as a result of that? What are you deficient in, and what are you not deficient in? And go ahead.
Well, I would say, I think that everybody agrees on those categories. Those categories are absolutely, and I do put them in order. Then it's fitness first. Then it's the money, and then the women come. And that's why I say you absorb women, because they see you on your path and they chase you, or you just run them slap over. And I don't look, it doesn't matter where you start. Women are going to chase you. There's not enough good men out there. In fact, like these guys, they think that these chads that they sleep with all these girls, dude, I don't have time to check all those apps. I got shit to do. I got shit to do, man. So, I miss just as many as I catch, or don't know about it at all, because I have shit to do. So I think that the answer to your question though is whatever the hell you want. So what you want to do is make sure you have all those things in line. And so when you get to that place in your life, you have choice, because choice is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
you can get married, or you can have 5 wives, or you can have 50 girlfriends. What you want is the choice. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I keep, people keep saying, hey, don't focus on women, focus on your future, focus on your success, right? Chase excellence. And I keep saying, it doesn't have to necessarily be one or the other. You can be doing all of that at the same. Jay, would you say that you pursue women? Are there girls that you go, man, I'm gonna date that girl. I'm gonna go and see if I can get her. I'm gonna get her in a bed. Or do you are there girls that you go, I'm gonna put out some effort to go get with this chick? Or how? Give me an example of how you like you were just saying a minute ago, open doors for them, go on the date, order for them, that give me an example of how you go from like 0 to you're at the date. Do they source you, or do you source them? How what's the process of that?
It can happen in any way. It can happen through an app.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen in a grocery store. It can happen through a friend of a friend, and all of those things come from the same place. It's about who you are as a man. So if I think a girl is beautiful in a grocery store, I'll walk up to her and I'll tell her, or I'll talk to her. Or what I'll really do is, if I'm in line, I'll talk to the little old lady right next to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be cutting up, and then I'll be like, hey, so what do you think about this?
Old lady game.
Conversation, bro. Keto.
Yeah.
My boy Tristan Tate says. So, I mean, it's all kind of ways, but at the root of it, you can take one woman in an office setting, let's say, and you can take 2 different men. And one of those men took care of his fitness, his finance, and understands the frame of women so he doesn't come on too strong. And you can take another guy who didn't take care of his fitness or his money or how he dresses himself and grooms himself. And they can say the exact same thing to the exact same woman on the exact same day, and she will respond differently. So is it the woman in that scenario? Mm-hmm. Or is it educating yourself? I made a video that said money or women first. It's a YouTube video that's actually out right now. Mm-hmm. And what I said in the video, if I can recall correctly, is that I never chased women. I gave my 20s up with, fitness and building my business, but women came. So what I did is educate myself about women in my 20s. So I understood how they work, and I just kept along that path. And because I was so busy, and because I was hard to catch, and because I was on my little mission to get out of, South Louisiana, they just chased me, and they came and they went, but I never got my heart broken, not post-college. And man, I'll tell you, educating yourself around how women work really is what you need to do. And that's why I think your books are so powerful, because they're not necessarily telling you, you say this, she says this, and then boom, she's, there's no panties. Mm-hmm. It's understand, and then let's set some frames, and then you be this person and she'll chase that person.
Mm-hmm. I've mentioned before, and I think that really redefinition, really the definition of game is really like social skills. It's like having the skills to even open a conversation, or being comfortable enough to, as you were saying before, when you were talking about being, having 100% was undivided attention, right? You also mentioned eye contact, and I think that's really important. A lot of guys they just simply can't hold that eye contact, because I think that you got to remember, eye contact is central to the human attack posture. So it's if you're looking at somebody, it's almost confrontational when you do that. And a lot of guys are very uncomfortable with that. But again, it comes back to that sort of that focused attention on that person. And again, I think it's almost like giving yourself permission to be social with that person, or having the confidence to know that you can open a conversation and carry on a conversation. Now, my question is this: do you think that guys to have effective game, or to be to be an alpha guy, right? Do they have to be extroverts, or can they be introverts? Because a lot of introverts will say, "Well, I'm not like that. I'm not an extrovert, so it'll never work for me." I would argue against that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I would. I want to say something on the eye contact thing. I think it is a very good thing to do, to never let a woman catch you looking at her chest. I feel like that is the biggest mind fuck for a big chested woman is you look her dead in the eyes and make sure she never catches you looking at her in that way because it makes her want to throw it at you. And the other thing is on the eye contact is that most of our sight's one of our most strong senses. There's a lot of nerve endings and things that go there because we're looking around predators, who to mate with, aesthetics, those things. Eye contact is incredible. And to be able to have the ability and the confidence to look somebody dead in the eyes works with women. And I'll tell you another thing. A lot of these things that we're talking about work with men as well. They work with clients. People want your undivided attention. They want to feel valuable in that way. That makes them special to you. So a lot of these things could be used in the workplace on men as well.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I do think an introvert can be very, very good with women because what do they teach you when you're trying to sell something to somebody? You want them talking about themselves. What do people love to talk about more than anything? Themselves. So an introvert only has to talk every 30, 40 seconds at most. And she talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. And he keeps eye contact and he's doing the nodding to keep her going. Then all of a sudden, it makes her feel very well. And then we're right back to watch how you make people feel.
Yes. And I know this is going to come up. So I'm going to put you guys on, I'm going to address this really quickly here. Okay. So when you're talking about like, don't look at her tits, right? Always keep that laser focus kind of thing. Okay. I agree with that. And it's probably like guys are going to go, well, what the hell are you talking about? You want to flirt with her, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, if you're familiar with her and you go, and it's unignorable. She's got like double D's. Like, yeah, you got big tits. Right. Like if it's sneaky clout, I'm going to joke around with her and rib her and stuff like that. That's that part of that.
We can talk about her titties when she gets them out.
Exactly. If it's in your face, that's it. Now, here's why I say that. Okay. I'm going to read to you from the 16 Commandments of Poon, which is from Royce, from old school Royce. Okay. This is number 10. This is commandment number 10. And commandment number 10 is ignore her beauty.
Yes.
The man who trains his mind to subdue the reward centers of his brain when reflecting upon a beautiful female face will magically transform his interactions with women. His apprehension and self-consciousness will melt away, paving the path for a more honest and self-possessed interactions with the objects of his desire. This is one reason why the greatest Lotharios drown in more love than they can handle. Through the positive experiences with so many beautiful women, they lose their awe of female beauty and, in turn, their powerlessness under its spell. It will help you acquire the right frame of mind to stop using the words hot, cute, gorgeous, or beautiful to describe the girls who turn you on. Instead, say to yourself, she's interesting, or she might be worth getting to know. Never compliment a girl on her looks, especially not a girl you aren't fucking already.
I never do.
Turn off that part of your brain that wants to put them on a pedestal. That's what that is about. Further advanced training to reach the state of unawed Zen transcendence is to sleep with as many attractive women. Try to avoid sleeping with a lot of ugly women if you don't want to regress. And soon a Jedi lover you will be. Okay. So it's not about, oh, I can't look at her boobs. That's not about insecurity. It's about ignoring her beauty. It's about, one of the things is like, I don't think a lot of guys realize this because they think that's just playing games. And if you're not an alpha guy who doesn't have access to a lot of women and a lot of opportunity for sex or whatever, if you probably will think that's a key, right? Oh, well, I don't have access to a lot of women, so I need to be straight and whatever. It's not about trying to play a game to ignore her tits or whatever else. It's the fact that you are telegraphing to her with your behaviors that you're the kind of guy who women's beauty does not affect. You understand that? I that's one of those nuances I think of game that a lot of guys don't really get. Like, ignore her beauty. Now, most guys, when they say ignore her beauty, they go, yeah, man, I'm a rock. She'll never affect me. No, just the fact that you're reacting that way means she already is. Most guys will go, you're so beautiful. I'll simp for you. Like that. You want to know why simping is such a big deal? That's why. Because beauty affects lesser men. Beauty does not affect guys who already have access to beautiful women. because they're used to it. They're habituated to it. They already see it. Again, amused mastery. Look at my tits. No, I don't care about your tits. You look interesting. You look interesting. She might be worth getting to know. That kind of stuff. And people say, well, you're just playing manipulative games. Yeah, well, it's no more manipulative than her sticking her tits out, trying to get your attention so you will simp for her. You want to talk about shit tests? There's a shit test for
That's her weapon. And I could not agree with that more, man. I never tell women that they're super beautiful or anything like that. In fact, I'll tell them flat out, if they do something I like, I'll tell them the only way I'll ever call her pretty is I'll tell her pretty ain't a pass. And I'll tell her just like that. Pretty ain't a pass. Let's go. Because it's just, you can completely disarm a woman by not calling her beauty out. And by the way, it goes back to that boxing thing. Every other man in her life is telling her how beautiful she is. So if you're that one man that's there, eye contact, testing her mentally, you're different now. So she chases and she wants to throw that physicality onto you, literally. I agree.